Again, my name is Tristan Melvin. I will be talking about the Tuskegee Airmen and the impact they had during World War II. I'll be reading to my brother and my mother who are behind the camera. And my first cite will be from Tuskegee Airmen, written by the Encyclopedia of World Biography in 2019. And they stated that the Tuskegee Airmen were the first black fighter pilot unit that ever fought in the U.S. military, who were also known as the Red Tails. And they got that name from painting the tails of their P-51 fighter planes red. That's how they distinguished themselves from other planes and being known as the Red Tails. They fought against discrimination and bigotry in the military, and they fought for something which was called a WWII, which is for victory versus the designated enemy, and a victory versus in their own country, in their own place. Because, they had to fight against the racism that was going on in the military and the people and the injustices going on that was getting done to them. And they were kind of like the civil rights movement before the civil rights movement. Like, the civil rights movement took place in the 60s and stuff. This was in the 1940s, and they were doing the same thing. They refused to sign certain papers that were getting forced upon them. They didn't want to sign those because it violated their rights. And they were just overall brave people who fought for what they believed in. And my second cite is from Murphy Thomas, and They Too Served with Honor. And he stated that no matter what happened, no matter what happened to them, no matter what was getting thrown at them, they always fought hard and valiantly, and they never, their pride never wavered. They always knew, if you keep fighting the right fight and you keep fighting for what you believe, eventually, it'll come true, and eventually it did, just not no time soon when they were going through what they were going through. And they fought hard for what they believed in, and a lot of people don't know that they had a bigger impact during World War II than, a lot of people give them credit for. They destroyed, I think it was 36 planes, damaged 36 planes in the sky, and they damaged 236 on the ground. They destroyed 1,000 railroad cars throughout their whole span in World War II, and from 179 bomber escort missions, they only lost 27 planes, and all of that time they only lost 27 planes to German aircrafts and all of those escort missions. So that's a little bit, they fought hard and they fought well, and they're a big reason why the Allied forces won the war. And despite all this, they were getting mistreated in their own country, in their own military bases. The generals would antagonize them, go out their way to antagonize them and pick on them and make them feel less than. They would have to sit behind the Germans and prisoners of war in like entertainment, like when they were getting entertained and things like this, like theater and stuff like this. They would have to sit behind the prisoners of war. Imagine how that would feel, like sitting behind the prisoners of war and stuff like that. That's crazy. You're fighting for a country and they're making you sit behind the people you're fighting for. You could have a friend that died, and to the man sitting right next to you, and you not even right next to you, in front of you, and you have to look at the back of his head and know that the people who run the country, in their eyes, the white people, your white counterparts, you are less than them. And that's crazy to me, but and black people has always been fighting in wars, even before, World War II and the Civil War. The Civil War, 1 in every 5 soldiers were black. And in World War II, 11% of the military in general were black. It was 9% of Marines on the front line and 3% of the Navy. That's how many people were black in the Army. And it might not seem like a lot, but 11% of, what would it be, hundreds of thousands, maybe even millions of people who fought in the war. 11% is a lot. It's a big chunk of people who fought bravely for their rights and what they believed in, just to get treated less than, just because of the color of their skin. And they're just now starting to get the recognition that they deserved. Getting invited to the 300 Tuskegee Airmen were getting invited to the White House, and their widows to receive the Congressional Gold Medal, and they received a presidential citation for their bravery and air tactics during World War II. And I feel like it's not really enough, you know, because they should have got this when they were alive. But just because the color of their skin, as I stated, they didn't receive, you know, get none of this love when they was alive. So I feel like, you know, it's not really enough. It's always good to recognize, but they should have got this recognition sooner. And yeah, you know, the impact that they had was very large. They had a large impact, and they're a great big reason why the military, even though the world, for us, the United States, is desegregated today. You know, they took that, they walked so we could run, and very grateful.